Hello, everyone. Welcome to the eighth episode of VolleyTalk Season 2, brought to you by Basic Sport. I'm Khyati, your host, back with another episode to talk about more data and analytics in volleyball. Volley Talk is basically a show where we talk about anything and everything related to volleyball with people who have been a part of the sport for majority of their lives. As the second leg of the Prime Volleyball League commenced in Hyderabad yesterday, we are excited to bring to you more insights about this from the coaches, players, and the management itself. Today on our show, we have Mr. Abhishek Reddy with us, the man who wears many hats that of owning, co owning volleyball, golf, badminton teams, and also heads a couple of startups in the city. For him, work and research require the same amount of zeal and enthusiasm. Abhishek's hobbies also range from downhill mountain biking to off roading to surfing and skydiving, snowboarding, and many more, honestly. He is the principal co owner of several professional sports teams across multiple leagues. The teams include Bangalore Raptors. They're the two-time world champions and current defending champions of the Premier Badminton League. The Hyderabad Blackhawks of the Prime Volleyball League, who are third in the table points tally right now, and also the Bangalore Brawlers of the National Boxing League. He believes that the sporting ecosystem of India lies more than the limitations and it has capability to excel in various streams. And actually, I'll have to stop here, otherwise we'll spend half the show in just introducing this dynamic personality. We welcome you to the show, sir. How are you today? How are you today?
Thanks, Kathy. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you
Very
so
good.
much for being
Feeling
here.
very good after a win
Hope you're
yesterday.
comfortable. Sorry.
Yeah, after a win yesterday, I think we're feeling very good.
Yeah, yeah. So before we go ahead, actually, we just have this small AV we'd like to present for you before we go ahead with the interview. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll just be on the screen in a minute.
Would this be on my screen as well, Kathy, while I wait,
Um,
or
yes,
is
yes,
that
yes.
going? Okay, wonderful.
It's just playing.
We can chat up while that's happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you started with saying your win yesterday. How are you feeling about after the win?
A win's always good to start off with because the
Mhm.
Hyderabad leg, I think, for more fans to tune in and
Yeah,
more people paying a lot more attention. I think a win is always a good thing to start off. And
yeah.
yeah, we're super excited, especially being two down after
Mhm.
kind of losing our top
Yeah, yeah,
players.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we picked Ranjit, and unfortunately, Ranjit could not join us.
Mhm.
That's the national setter, and that's our potential captain as well. At that point, and he couldn't join us, and then we also a freak injury. Asmat, we lost him as well after the first game, and you've seen what he did in the first game. So
Mhm.
the team was a little down considering the events that
Yeah,
happened, but
yeah.
I think they just picked up the pieces and is doing well now.
Yeah, honestly, it was amazing seeing that yesterday, even after losing two matches, how Hyderabad players Guru, Hemant, and all are topping at least three, four leaderboards right now out of
Right.
seven, eight, and this speaks about very good performance levels also. So, what do you tell your players when you see this? Like, despite the setbacks, initial setbacks, how they are coming back after this? What is your role? What do you do?
No, I,
What do
I
you?
think I think see the most important thing is we have a young team.
Mhm.
Right there, I think there's a huge advantage. I mean, if you
Yeah,
go back to our season as such, even pro volleyball before the prime volleyball
yeah,
started,
yeah.
I'm not sure if you realize it, but we had made a point that we kind of pick a lot of youngsters in our teams.
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
list out a couple of names as part of pro volleyball. Rohit was playing as part of us.
Okay.
He Yeah, Rohit was, Amit was, Chirag was,
Hmm.
Angamuttu was,
Hmm.
Muthuswamy was playing for us, Guru was playing for us, Ashwal was playing for us.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
before they
Oh,
became
wow.
superstars in the
Yeah.
league,
Yeah.
um, they were all part of our team,
Oh,
and
wow.
that's sort of the philosophy we want to take it forward. We did that with the season one. We did
Hmm.
that with
Hmm.
this season
Hmm.
as well. We consciously made sure that we had a young team, and with that came a younger captain as well,
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
stands to be true, right?
Yeah.
He's all of 23 years old, so I mean, it's amazing to have such a
Hmm.
dynamic team. So with youngness, obviously, you do have the advantages of it, which is their spirit and their athleticism and
Yeah.
everything else. But also, when the chips are down, they probably don't have the experience of pulling themselves up.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think I just took a while, maybe a game or so, for us to realize that,
Yeah.
hey, they need a little more support, from the perspective of understanding that, hey, this sort of things happen in the sport. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had planned for a certain thing, something else happened. Let's move on. Right now, I think they believe in themselves, and I think
Yeah.
they have the game to go all out, and I think that's what.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's actually lovely to hear. It's we see that younger players they adapt more quicker to the circumstances, and
Right.
I think that is
They're
what
not set in their ways, right?
really
Yeah, yeah,
advantages. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
And an opportunity opens up. I think there's nobody quicker to take up that opportunity than themselves. So,
yeah, yeah.
so one man's loss
Hmm.
is another man's gain. Vignesh came on board, and
Yeah,
he's doing good. Hemant is picking up, right? I mean, we've
yeah,
seen
yeah,
the last
yeah,
game. It's
exactly.
crazy. Yeah, I think
Yesterday,
we all he
sorry.
sent us all into a frenzy. He
Yeah,
sent us all into
yeah,
a frenzy.
exactly. Four aces in a row, two super subs, and he's now
Right.
competing with Guru also in the under 25 category. Do
Yeah.
you think he will be the new Hyderabad finding this year?
Absolutely. I think the season's very young. I would believe even more will come out of the squad. Heyman's definitely going to be a good find, but I
Yeah, yeah.
really think there's more superstars, and that's what the league is all about, right? I mean, create more superstars for volleyball. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
hopeful
yeah.
that there's going to be more.
That's what same here. Uh, Before we continue now, we would like to present the AV for you right now, and
Sure.
then we'll continue talking. Yeah. Can we just have that on the screen now? I am not sure if this is playing right now or not. But
It's not playing on my end, but I guess even Apple had problems like this, so it's okay. I think it'll be fine.
okay, okay, no, no, that's we'll just okay, okay. If you're not able to play this right now, we'll just move ahead with this. Let me start with just talking to you on a little personal note, and then we'll go ahead into your this thing. You seem like an extremely lively and high like an extremely energetic personality. How do you keep up with this liveliness with the immense amount of work you do?
Um, I think the work itself is, I don't consider it as work to start off with. I think I'm having fun living through it. So
Yeah,
there's no reason to be stressed out. That's the way I see it. And I also believe that you can start another smile with a smile. So it's quite important that continue to smile through the day. It's very infectious, isn't it? I mean, I'm smiling because you're smiling, by the way.
yeah,
So it's very infectious. We
yeah,
all, yeah, we all smile and cheer on our wins, but I think it's very important that we kind of smile on our losses, and um, you know I think a smile goes a long way, and I believe that
yeah.
we got to keep doing what we're doing. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Just as you're talking about smiles, I there's this collage we have. Can we have that on the screen? Then I'd like to ask you about that. Let me know if it's possible to put the collage on the screen right now. Okay, if not, I'm sorry. I think there's just some. Oh no, no, no! It's here.
Oh,
Yeah. What we see on the screen is a competition with goggles, with style, music, and such hike nights, Tollywood celebrities, and whatnot. Is this a race? Is this also a race off court? And if yes, who is winning between the two of you?
Oh, if it's a race, I would say definitely Mr. Patodia is winning.
Okay, okay.
To be fair, I think we are thinking alike more than anything else. We have put on a personality that, you know,
Mhm.
see, off the court, yeah, we've got our personalities and all of that, but on court, yes, I think a lot more attention needs to be got to the sport, not through us, of course, through the players itself. So I really
Yeah.
believe, um, I think while we go about doing what we're doing, I really think the attention should be on the players, and I
Okay.
think we both have a way to go about it. So yeah.
Mhm. But then, while you're saying this, two of your personalities, I think two of you can be considered like celebrity owners in the Prime
Oh,
Volleyball League. And that actually does add a great valuation to the team and to the league. So, do you agree with us on this? And do you think more owners also should be a part of this culture you two seem to be starting right now?
Yeah, well, I think we have some really wonderful owners to start off with.
Hmm.
Everybody's got their own personality, and sometimes the team reflects the personality of the
Yeah.
owners, and sometimes the team takes on a totally different personality, right? Some prefer doing a lot of work on the background. I can say for sure, a lot of people who are probably not in the stands cheering vociferously, all of that, because that's part of who we are as a personality as well, right?
Hmm.
I'm sure they're doing a lot more in the background. I'm sure they're doing the talk to the
Hmm.
players. I'm sure they're
Yeah.
doing a lot of good work, right? So when
No.
you ask if more owners have to be doing it, I don't know. I mean, it's to their choice, but I
Mhm.
think once some prefer to do it one way than another. But I would say when Vijay Deverakonda comes on board, I think we should
Yeah,
stop talking about spotlights. I think all of it just goes on to him, and we're just happy to be in the background. I think he can get a lot more
yeah.
attention to the sport than any of us combined can. Um,
Mhm.
and what I do want to see is
Yeah.
is more of those personalities come on board as well.
Mhm.
And Yeah, we are happy to move that spotlight onto him. Another thing is,
Yeah.
I think when we're talking about the owners, I really want to reflect back on the real superstars, which
Yeah.
is the players.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the players. Absolutely, there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
I think even Vijay Deverakonda agrees that in the world of sport, after a certain point, the spotlight has to be the players itself, right?
Mhm.
Vijay Deverakonda would love to get all the attention from the fraternity, the non-playing crowd, all of that
Yeah.
onto the sport. Once the sport happens, the true heroes come on board is the players. I mean, um, they're catching on the attention. I mean, you can see Guru
Yeah.
and the chants and everything else, right? I think we're doing the right thing right now, getting
Mhm.
the attention and projecting it onto the
Yeah.
players.
Yeah, no, so as you mentioned, Vijay Deverakonda right now and the kind of engagement he does bring in. So you introduced, he came to visit the final game last season, and this season he's now a co-owner. So did him becoming a co-owner happen last year on the stands, or was it like a later development? How did he turn out to be this passionate about the sport and Hyderabad Blackhawks specifically?
Yeah. Well. See, the thing is, he's passionate naturally about volleyball. I think that's
Okay,
one of the sport
okay,
that he plays. So it's
okay.
it's an instant connect for him,
Hmm.
to be connected with volleyball and the sport and everything else, right?
Hmm.
So for him, Blackhawks represents what he could potentially be, owning, right? And I think if
Yeah.
given a choice, I think he would like a volleyball team. Now, but more importantly, going back to the question,
Hmm.
did it happen in the stands? I think in his heart it did. We
Yeah.
never spoke about it. He probably had that the thought
Yeah.
process that he would probably want to do more to the sport,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
be part of it, and
Yeah.
not just as a brand ambassador, but as a co-owner, because it's a whole lot different. The moment you become a co-owner,
Hmm.
your heart beats for it
Yeah.
beats for the fans, right?
Yeah.
A brand ambassador would come in, do
Hmm.
a couple of shows and all of that, but
Yeah.
but then that connect is not there.
Yeah.
Now, if you've seen Vijay's connect right now, it's
Hmm.
insane.
Hmm.
It's he's
So
absolutely into the game. He's
involved.
watching,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's watching every game.
Hmm.
He's so enthusiastic about it. He looks at, he writes down certain things that needs to be done
Wow.
differently, and a nice pep talk to the team, which also
Okay.
helps as well. Yeah, I mean, getting
Wow.
a pep talk from a superstar is always nice, right? I mean, we got to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So that way, I think we're kind of, it's a great association for Blackhawks,
Hmm. Hmm.
especially having him on board as a co-owner
Oh
and
no.
somebody like Vijay. I can't speak enough
Hmm.
of him.
Yeah.
It's not a fan movement. It's truly a business partner movement
Hmm.
that we
Hmm.
have right now,
Okay.
which is, he thinks so much more beyond
Yeah.
just Blackhawks. He has a
Yeah.
much bigger vision for the
Hmm.
sports. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's
thank
what
you.
like that's what makes the
Yeah,
difference having
right,
somebody like this on as a co-owner instead of a brand ambassador, so you get that much interaction and
right,
involvement.
right.
While
Absolutely,
we're talking
absolutely.
about being involved in the sport, is your family equally passionate about volleyball as you are?
I think what you're seeing is that I'm sitting on top of all of this is the
Okay.
foundation that is laid by the family and all the hard work that my family and friends have been doing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of enjoying the spotlight of it, but behind that is obviously the family and the friends who root for you. If you've seen the stadium yesterday, there was all a lot of friends. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
purely
yeah, exactly.
friends that, yeah. So a lot of friends who truly think that, it's not a business enterprise. It is something good that we're doing, and I think they really believe the good that it can bring to the country.
Yeah,
And Yeah, I'm lucky to have all of their support.
yeah. That's no. Yesterday we did see in the stands. There was so much engagement from your friends only, and you
Yeah,
also mentioned about doing good to the sport. So while we're on that, you and your we've seen that you and your wife do a lot of charity work. For developing young children and getting them
actually,
resources. I mean,
yeah,
giving them resources, laptops, and all the stuff.
right,
So
right.
I would just like to hear a little more about that. Where does that come from, and how does it how is that involved in your life? How big a part of your life is that?
Oh, I
Where did it
think
come from?
the sum total of what we are doing in all the other things, right, cannot match up to the satisfaction you get,
Hmm.
when you do something good for people who it can make a difference to. And I
Yeah.
think that's a motivation factor for the volleyball as well, because you can
Hmm.
see that there's something that we can do which can influence the lives of so many people.
Yeah.
And that goes back to us, spending for the education of people, giving out
Hmm.
laptops, giving out, checks for their education and all of that, right? Some of the
Okay.
people that you have seen in the stands yesterday,
Yeah. Yeah.
is people who have benefited from some of these programs as well, and that's the reason for all the love. Actually,
Hmm.
there was a lot of love in the stands, and that's because we believe that, there's. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people are doing it. It's just not me. Thanks for bringing it up. Maybe,
Yeah.
if I can transition that to something else that we're doing, which is the Blackhawks Foundation. As
Okay.
part of the foundation, we've started that foundation, and as part of the foundation, we want to go into the grassroots, a much
Okay.
more deeper way than just owning a franchise and then waiting for the next season to come on board and all of that, right? So, as part of that, we were trying to build more deeper connections with the fans,
Okay.
and not just the fans alone, but, give opportunities to players, give opportunities to students, run some
Okay.
academies, um,
Okay.
you know, play where players are sometimes part of a bigger organization. Give,
Hmm.
work with the corporates and get them more money into the system, right?
Okay.
Lot of
Okay.
thoughts, lot of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's all motivated by one factor, which is, hey, you
Hmm.
can make an impact. You can make
Hmm.
an impact on a lot of people's lives, and there's no bigger motivation than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, I do agree with you absolutely on this. It's like being giving out, helping being able to help the community and creating an impact. It's the biggest motivation
Right.
you can possibly
Yeah,
find.
and we all need, see, sport itself provides us a diversion from the problem. It's
Hmm.
like movies, for
Yeah.
example, right? While movies have a 3 hour diversion,
Hmm.
this is an engagement for a lifetime. I would say, once you're a fan with some of the sporting, franchises, you're a fan for life.
Yeah.
And we go through the highs and the lows and the emotions and all of that, and it becomes a part of the family. And I think I don't want to take that for granted. It's not just the wins; it's their experience, it's everything else.
Yeah. It's the
So
entire
the
culture
foundation,
that is built.
exactly. So one part of it is giving experience, one part of it is giving back
Yeah, yeah.
to the community that is going to support us. And Blackout's foundation, the premise of setting up the foundation is that, which is to give
Okay,
back.
okay. That is so beautiful to hear. Like, honestly, wish you all the best with this,
Thank
and
you.
we
I
hope
think
to
we
see
need the
this
support of all of
huge.
you, by the way. Yeah,
Sorry.
because I said we need the support of all of you,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
continue
that's
doing
always
this.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
I did read your article about this and how much emphasis and regard you give to all your fans and everybody around. And that was on,
Yeah,
I think, on those lines only I can see where you're getting your motivation from to
absolutely,
build this
absolutely.
foundation.
I don't know if you noticed yesterday that I'd actually gone around the state. I don't know, maybe you're not in the state, right? But I've actually made a point to go around the stadium and thank each and every fan. There were about 2,500 people there. I
Oh.
personally did go around and thank, because I think the lifeblood of a sport is fan, which is what I we did talk
Mhm.
about. With
Yeah,
and without them engaging the way they could,
yeah, yeah,
um, the sport would not get the attention. And if the sport doesn't, the
Hmm.
athletes would not. If the
Hmm.
athletes would not, there's some kids out there who's extremely talented, can't make it to cricket, and just being wasted, right? And I think it's trickle down effect from the fans. It starts with the fans and then
yeah.
goes all the way down. So there's a lot of clarity for us.
Exactly, exactly. That is true for all sports in general, but I think especially in India for upcoming sports, it's more important to grow a stronger fan based community to be able to grow the sport ahead,
Right.
later. So while we're
Yeah.
talking about this, yes, we heard you shouting the slogan "Kula Kula Kula." What is
Yeah.
that? And can we hear it now from you again? And would you like to explain
it's
the meaning of it for the fans?
it's easier to shout in the crowd, but
Yeah.
it says Gunta Lakadi Gula Gula Gula. It's actually
Okay.
Gula.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
Gunta Lakadi Gula Gula Gula, and then usually the fans shout out hoo ha, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it flows with the ebb and motion of the crowd. So you go hoo and then ha, right? So it's
Okay. Okay.
like energy. It's like the beat of it. Now this, I frankly don't know the meaning of it. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I've asked around actually.
Mhm.
It's something that the Telugu people usually say,
Okay.
and adapt when the games are going on, and we adapted for us to say hawk attack instead of
Okay.
hoo ha, we went hawk attack, right?
Hawk attack. Hawk
Mm,
attack. Okay.
it's I heard it's about 100 years old. Some people were saying that when they were kids, they were chanting it,
Okay.
and nobody knows the origin of it or the meaning of it. So there you go.
Okay.
So
Okay. But as
we're
long as
using a
it's
chant, we're
sorry.
using a chant that we don't know the meaning for, but it absolutely connects people. That's the most important.
As long as it's creating the atmosphere and the
Absolutely.
result that's required. So
Right. Right.
now we'll just talk about you a bit. How often do you hit the gym, and what sport do you play personally? Because I mean, exercise is obviously a very important part of your life. So, what sport do you play regularly? How do you fit your fitness routine into your other routine with every other work?
I think I approach gym the way I approach life in general, which is um, um, gym's boring, so I don't do it. Anything, yeah. I think I mean, at this age, I think everybody should start working out to make
Yeah,
sure that they can continue to play.
yeah,
So I play quite a bit, but I get injured quite a bit because I forget my age. In my mind, I'm still a
okay,
very young guy, and can jump around and all of that. But um, I still do pretty much everything that I used to do,
okay.
except at a much lesser frequency.
Hmm.
We've recently snowboarded. You're still doing all of that, right? But I think if there is a go-to sport right now, it's golf.
Golf.
Yeah, the beauty of it is it's whenever I can afford to do it. Before I used to do it very often, almost 4 or 5 times a week. Now I get to do only once a week. But yeah, and
Okay.
volleyball as well. I mean, the season is
Yeah,
volleyball, so it's easier to play
yeah,
volleyball as well. But I do play a lot. I
yeah.
I do biking. I do all sorts of that.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
learn new skills all the time.
Yeah, that's what, like, we've been reading about you. There's this long list of passion you, like, have. You're an IT entrepreneur, you're passionate about golf, you're a golf team owner, you're a badminton team owner, and now a volleyball owner as well. Which sport out of all these is closest to you? And are there any more sports expansion in line other than these?
Well, right now, I think truly I'm so connected with volleyball because
Hmm.
the potential for it.
Okay.
I mean, as a sport to play, I think I love golf, but as the potential that volleyball has in changing people's lives,
Okay.
especially I live in Hyderabad,
Hmm.
and the games are going on in Hyderabad. I
Yeah.
just came home.
Okay.
Yeah, the last 3 days I was at the hotel.
Okay.
The reason I bring that up is because the reason I stay in the hotel when the home's only about 10 minutes away is that I wanted to focus more. It's an opportunity for me to understand from the players, from the whole ecosystem and everything. And while we're all at the same hotel, it's so much
Yeah.
more to learn, to understand their problems, their everything else right around it.
Yeah.
So so volleyball, absolutely right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it's you have to be what do you say, equally engaged to be able to create that impact among your players, teams, and so that's
right.
right. So, how different is actually this experience of being a volleyball owner as respect to all the other sports you're a part of?
I think once the season starts for any of it, you're
Hmm.
focused on that sport.
Okay.
So there's no two ways about it. When the badminton was happening, we are cheering
Hmm.
for our badminton stars and everything
Okay.
else, right?
Okay. Okay.
The same is true for golf as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That is part of being involved with the sport,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right? But volleyball presents us a unique opportunity that the other sport does not. Um, I'm not too sure if you're the analytics guys. I mean, you would probably be able to pull up the numbers more better than us. But
Yeah.
we are tracking to be the world's most viewed sport, sorry, most viewed league in volleyball.
Really?
That is,
Wow.
that is season two.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if we can achieve that thing in season two,
That's
imagine
nonsense.
imagine where we can get to, right? Um,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, so there's an opportunity of being the most watched, which
Hmm.
which is which is crazy because we're now putting the real might of 1.4 billion people to work. When we used to talk about population, oh my God, India's got population, and now we're like, okay, glad big India's got population because we can control the world, right?
Exactly.
And our eyeballs do matter, right? Before, a million Indians watching something is equivalent to like 100 people in Europe or whatever, right? Now the million is a million everywhere, and our purchasing parity, everything has increased, and which
Yeah,
means we've got a much better chance to be a global team or a global league, right?
exactly.
Um, we want to be the NBA. I mean, we were talking about NBA and
Yeah,
basketball and everything else. The
yeah.
world. I've got my son who wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watches
To
NBA,
watch
and I
it.
do it along with him. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I do along with him as well. But
Hmm.
um, but then I think we have an opportunity for the league to be a much bigger league, and the world will start watching us. Um, and I want a kid somewhere in Italy
Yeah.
or Brazil or Venezuela
Waking
waking up
up
at
at
5 in
5
the morning because there's a game going on, right? That's a dream. I know, I'm like far stretching the imagination, but 5 years
No,
from now,
but
trust me, you are going to be kids waking up,
yeah,
losing their sleep. I want the world to lose their sleep to watch us.
yeah. No,
And I think
I completely agree with you. Can very much see that happening. Like if in 2 years itself, Prime Volleyball League has become this big, and
right,
even other than that, with how volleyball is growing as a sport in India, Club Volleyball World Cup in India. That news also came as such a big shock to everybody, and so quickly, and
right,
also for 2 years. How did that?
right.
How did that happen? And
Yeah,
it's what do you have to say about
yeah.
the Club
See,
Volleyball World Cup being in India right now for 2 years?
right. I think it goes back to the previous point that I was trying to make. Right, 1.4 billion people matter. I think
Mhm.
Indians matter now. Globally, we matter,
Yeah.
and I think the world looking at us and seeing that, hey,
Hmm.
if 133 million people were engaged in season one, there is an opportunity in India, and so I'm
Yeah.
knocking, but it's not just that. Truly, I'm undermining the whole effort of everybody else involved. to make sure that the championships come to India.
Mhm.
I think with the support of some good governments here, the Telangana government was also willing
Mhm.
to be the host, and
Yeah.
along with that, I think several other governments have agreed to do that. So let's see. I think it's a huge coup for us to get it,
Mhm.
but I think it also shows the validation and and the confidence that the world global leaders
Yeah.
have in executing it. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what even like right now the government gave, I think, the biggest Khelo India grant yet. So it
right,
it definitely is
focus
supporting
is there.
every new upcoming sport. So that's lovely to hear right now.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
but now, before we move ahead with, we'll talk about before we talk about Hyderabad Blackhawks now. One more thing I just wanted to ask you: why Hype Night? Was it for the big announcement of the corner, or does it have any other bigger message behind it?
Oh no, the as a matter of fact, the corner happened after we announced the hype night.
Okay, okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so we kind of fit in well. It's just perfect for us
Mhm.
to do that. But the hype night was mostly to see. We see a huge gap
Mhm.
between the teams and the people at large in general, right? In Hyderabad, I think one way to actually win the hearts of fans and make them loyal
Yeah.
to the team is to give back, right? Which we
Okay.
talked about earlier. Through the
Yes.
foundation is one way of it, but also to say, hey, we are hosting a night. So that was a fan night. That
Mhm.
was purely to say we are hosting a night where it is a night to remember from a volleyball perspective, because
Okay.
nobody has done what we have done at a scale that we have done globally. I mean, if you look at it globally, nobody has imagined a volleyball being played under the fluorescent lights in a
Mhm.
stadium. At least it's not done so far.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else will do it. But
Mhm.
so what we wanted to do was bring to Hyderabad a moment where they can be proud of, and then they can go out there and then talk about
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
one reason for it.
Mhm.
Second reason for it is also to be more engaged with the fans. Yes, the
Yes.
sport comes in, all of that, but what are we doing as a team?
Yes.
We
Hmm.
want to do a lot more of this. We
Hmm.
have done a few more club level events. We've just recently
Okay.
finished a college level event as well.
Okay.
JN,
Okay. Wow.
yeah,
Hmm.
I was in the papers just on the 14th that we have conducted a big event at JNTU with
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
20 players participating in all of that. And yeah, so
Hmm.
all of that. Hype Night was part of a bigger
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
You're going to
Okay.
see a lot more of it,
Okay.
by the way.
Sorry.
You're going to see a lot more of it.
Yeah, that's no, it's that I can, like, I'm able to understand your very giving sort of mentality behind organizing and handling whole of Hyderabad Blackhawks as a franchise.
Right.
And I think that is very different from what we usually see otherwise. And this as a team, since, like, as a volleyball, as a growing team sport, it builds a very strong culture, and I think that is the maximum we have seen in Hyderabad itself. And that also reflects in the stadiums and the stands and all, looking at, like, all the fans around. And yeah,
Right.
no, that's
Yeah. Wonderful.
so
Wonderful.
a while, sorry. Yeah, no,
No,
no.
I said one. By the way, am I audible? Okay. Am I too
Yes,
far?
yes.
I'm
Yes, no,
okay.
no, no. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, also, so while we'll just start, I want to ask you about. I've been waiting to ask you about your players right now and Hyderabad players and how they've been in the limelight. Especially Guru Prashant, he has been extremely key for the team in many aspects. He has been topping the leaderboards, and he's the first player who will, like, score half a century right now. And yeah, and when there are still three matches left, and he was how much he was a Hyderabad finding. So how much has he matured as a player, and how what growth have you seen in, like, a player like that
Right.
being
Um,
finding?
what do you think from a guru of last year to guru of this year? Guru of
Hmm.
last year was a promise. Guru of
Yeah.
last year was an emerging star, right?
Hmm.
And guru of this year is a captain.
Hmm. Hmm.
That
Hmm.
right there
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
our confidence in him, right? I mean, to put a young team on his shoulder, because one of the worries that we had was, will Guru as a player continue to play if he's a captain? Because that brings in a lot of responsibility and everything else.
yeah. Okay, okay.
But I think he's just raising his bar, and
Hmm.
I think it's amazing just to see him. go out there and just go have fun. And while he's having fun, I think he's definitely matured as a player because he's taking things very seriously when he
Yeah.
talks to his when how he's motivating his players, how he takes people under their wing, and he's very well
Okay.
supported by Trent as well. Trent has played global leagues, and I think
Mm-hmm.
part of his exposure is also helping Kuru to actually try out new things and all that. So yeah, I think he's definitely more mature now this year.
Yeah, yeah, like as a captain, as you're saying this, what I want to know, what role did you play in this, and how do you interact with your players, and how do you motivate, and especially because Guru is so young right now. So, how have you motivated your players to be able to grow this massively in such a short span of time, and at such a young age, especially?
Right. See, I think first of all, I think we let the players be themselves. I think that's
No.
very important for the players to be themselves. Everybody's got a certain nature and a character to them, right?
Yeah,
You can't just say, okay, this is how I'm going to push everyone. You know, they we haven't spent enough time together,
yeah.
all of us, to understand each other enough, because this sort of a league where we come together for a month, we stay in hotels together for a month. I mean, that's enough time actually, but still, to truly understand players and then suggest things to them, I don't think we are there as a league yet. I would love to see this league be played out like 6 months or 8 months or whatever, right? So what I'm trying to get to was, it's important for us to understand that each player has a different character to them and all of that, and how they get motivated.
Yeah.
um, so what we present to them is an opportunity. One of the things we present to them is the fact that somebody's doing good, like Guru is doing good, Hemant is doing good. Hemant has played a very fearless game, and that's what we were talking about. Just go out there and play fearless. Don't think about the win, don't think about the loss. The Hyderabad's going to love you irrespective, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to cheer for them irrespective.
Yeah.
Just put everything on the floor. And as a matter of fact, I was saying that Vijay also had a conversation. Unfortunately, he was sick, so he could come. But he had a conversation with the players, telling him stories about himself.
Hmm.
How there's going to be super hits, there's going to be flops, there's going to be all of that.
Yeah.
But people who love him are going to be continue to be with him,
Hmm.
and that's what the players need to understand. It's not about the result, right? You
Yeah.
do the best you could, and that reflected well on them. Another important thing is, I'm also, like, for example, we've also had an opportunity for the army to come in and actually talk to them about
Okay. Oh,
just life,
wow.
and yeah, and being able to
That's.
actually
Hmm.
go out there, present themselves in situations where they're likely might not even come back, right? And then,
Yeah, yeah,
continue. Yeah, and that see, I would say life in the art, life for the services and life as a sportsman is sort of similar. You sacrifice a lot. You have to have the discipline. There is going to be wins. There's going to be losses, right? There's going to be shortened span in terms of longevity of the game because you've got some injuries or whatever, right? So when you look at a bigger picture of a soldier going in and he might not even come back, and they still stay motivated to do their best, right? And I think there's no better motivation than that. So we're doing quite a bit of those, and we've also have a performance coach as well, and
yeah.
bunch of
Okay.
things. Anything that we can help out.
Sorry.
I said
Anything.
anything that we
Yeah,
can help
yeah,
out.
yeah. These are very different initiatives that again I am listening to motivate the players as a team. Like I haven't heard of this before. Like
No,
these
you know what? Have you ever? We haven't been telling this to the other teams, so I don't know if anybody is going to be watching this. That they're going to be starting doing the same thing.
yeah, pick it up.
Yeah, yeah,
Because we don't see this kind of mentality usually in other teams normally, because that's what we had started talking with. First coming down from two games, like first having a setback of two games and then being able to come back from that. I think these experiences, what you have mentioned right now, play a very big role in this.
right, right,
And
right, right.
so, yeah, while we're talking about this, how do you, as a team owner, deal with setbacks, particularly, especially in respect to what the team had to face right now with the players like Ashmatullah, Ranjit, as you had mentioned before? So, how have you, as a owner, dealt with these setbacks for the team?
Right. I think first of all we need to believe we're in the long run.
Hmm.
It's a long haul, right?
Yeah.
We are going to be continue to help our players with the bigger vision.
Hmm.
Yes, there might be a win, there might be a loss, but I think
Yeah.
eventually the bigger picture should be at play.
Yeah.
There are things out of our control, which is obviously, there are things that happened to Masmat. It's very unfortunate. The kid, he couldn't play last year, he couldn't play this year. My heart
Hmm.
really goes out for the kid,
Oh my
seriously,
God.
because, and I'm super excited to have him on board next year, because we've taken the team for 2 year period, right?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine the possibility of this team when he's on board and Ranjit is on board, and it's
Yeah.
just going to be amazing,
Oh.
right? Um,
Hmm.
so how do we deal with it? We know for a fact that, as I said, after two losses, the fans were still there,
Yeah.
came in pros, right?
Yeah.
And that's because they want to see us play to the best of the ability, just give it all, which I was just
Hmm.
speaking about earlier. I think that's what we talk about. We lose it, big deal. We move on. We'll give our best
Yeah.
to the next one.
Yeah.
I don't think as a team we dwell too much on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of these that I've talked about, having an analyst, having an army come speak to you, all of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not necessarily that, hey, because you're losing that we have all of this. We have that
Hmm.
in balance because
Yeah.
it's the attitude. We'll win. If we win, we want to win another one. If
Yeah.
we win
Yeah.
another one, we want to just go all the way, right? And it's not about, okay, one loss, one win. You
Yeah.
suddenly get 40 and no. I think the culture
Yeah.
is more like, let's do it.
You
Let's
keep
continue.
going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Life moves on. You have to keep going, keep adapting to whatever is coming your way. Yeah. So while we're at it, one last thing I want to ask you is there any message you would like to pass to all the fans and staff of Hyderabad? The fans watching this would definitely know the immense love and respect you hold for them right now. But other than that, is there any other message you would like to pass to the staff and fans of Hyderabad Blackhawks?
Yeah. Well, I think this is such a young team. Obviously the fans are required for this team to grow and to be loved and all of that. But seriously, I think we're going to be doing this year, the year after, and for in my mind, we're going to be doing this for generations. I think our fans are going to be retiring. Some of them are going to be married.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be having kids. And I'm hoping some of those kids will also be following us and they'll be playing volleyball or whatever. So I really want to say that this is not a flash in the pan
Yeah.
team. This is neither a flash in the pan league.
Hmm.
Um, as a sport, I think we will continue to push volleyball to be more global than just Indian.
Hmm.
So I think it's very important for us to do a lot more from a fan's perspective, and I'm sure the fans will also love us for doing that.
Yeah.
And we'll give them enough reasons to cheer.
Yes.
And I think there's nothing bigger than, I think, our ultimate goal. We probably didn't speak about this, but it's one thing to have a billion fans or a
Yeah.
billion views or whatever, right? It's all nice.
Hmm.
But if our country doesn't do well
Yes.
at a global stage, we
Hmm.
always have that feeling that, hey, we're missing something, right?
Yeah.
So what this does again is the trickle down effect that we were talking about earlier. We've set up a league at
Yeah.
the top, the lights, camera, action, everything, all focus on the league.
Hmm.
And then you've got the stars go home. You've got these little kids inspired by them. We've set up screening centers and
Yeah.
all of these kids. That's the bigger vision. I'm sure a lot of the ex volleyball players share the same vision. Everybody's trying for the same vision. We're just a very small speck in that entire
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're driving it or just being part of it, right? I think it's very important that we realize that 3-4 years from now, India has to be in the top
Yeah.
five.
Yeah.
And I think all of this might help.
Yeah. That's so lovely to hear. Actually, I don't know if if I should be saying this or not, but after this, even I'm just so inclined towards Hyderabad Blackhawks right now. And even before this was one culture which even at least I personally very just I just started following volleyball after
Oh,
the Prime Volleyball League season 2. But
right.
Hyderabad was one team which even I just always had my eye on and inclination on. And anytime I had
Wonderful.
to speak about it, that just excited me so much because it's so it comes out so strongly everything what you've done for the fans for the team and
Do
just
you
all.
have our jersey? Do you have our jersey yet?
No, I don't yet.
Then I think you should send me a picture of you wearing a jersey. We'll make sure you
Yes,
get a
yes,
jersey.
yes, definitely.
Yeah,
It's honestly commendable everything you've done till now for the fans and the entire team. And
wonderful.
with so like on this note, we'll just quickly end it now. With this rapid fire round, I will just ask you 4 5 questions, and without thinking, I mean the first thing that comes to your mind,
Sure,
you will just
sure.
answer. Tell me that.
Uh,
Okay. First, scuba diving, cars, or holidays? What excites you the most?
Sorry, repeat that again. Scuba diving.
Scuba diving, cars, or holidays? What excites you the
Oh,
most?
I can't pick. I just can't pick. I'm one of those guys who can't pick. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you see me doing so many things. I'm
Yeah.
not good picky. I want all three.
Yeah.
I want to drive to a vacation where I can
Yeah.
go scuba diving. So there
Wow.
you go.
And that is the most perfect answer you could have given. Um, Favorite team in your in the Prime Volleyball League other than Hyderabad?
Other than Hyderabad, my favorite team. Okay, what's coming to my mind surprisingly is Kolkata.
Kolkata,
Yeah.
your competitors.
No, I see. We have with a lot
Hmm.
of our players. We
Hmm.
have a connect. We with Ashwal, who was part of our team, and all of that, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
We have a huge connect with Kolkata. So yeah, the players define
Oh,
it.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's lovely to hear.
and
Um,
and and, and I can't, I can't stop but admire Calicut seriously. And that's,
yeah,
if there's a team and if there's a fans that I admire, it's Calicut. It's just
Calicut.
pure love for sport. Oh, it's
Okay.
amazing. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Oh, wow. And what finals would be between Hyderabad or who do you think
Oh,
the
Hyderabad
finals
for sure.
will be between?
Hyderabad for sure. You pick another one. I can't
Yeah,
tell
no,
you
that's
which
what
one.
I'm asking you. What would be your other pick, Hyderabad and which one would be the finals?
Any other team is fine.
Choose between these teams. Hyderabad or why am I asking Hyderabad? Kolkata or Chennai?
I would choose Chennai.
Chennai.
Chennai
And
comes to my mind.
Chennai or Calicut?
Oh, now you're going down the. So your question was which one would be in the final, Chennai or Calicut?
Yes, yes. Against Hyderabad. No,
Okay.
I'm just asking. First I was asking you to choose who would be the finalist, but then other than that,
Right.
which team or from these would you pick to support?
I would pick Chennai.
Yeah. So today's game. You think Bangalore or Chennai?
um, Chennai.
Chennai again.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Chennai's got. I'll tell you why Chennai, because Chennai's got some crowd support here.
Okay.
The
Okay.
owners have their roots in Hyderabad. They have some crowd support, so I'm
Mhm.
guessing Chennai, the crowd
Okay.
support might help them. Yeah.
Okay. And Kolkata or Calicut
That's a tough one. That's
today?
a very tough one. But I would think Kolkata.
Kolkata. Okay. And one last question: volleyball, badminton, or boxing, or golf?
Volleyball. Volleyball right now.
Volleyball. Okay.
I just live and breathe volleyball. I probably will be sleeping with a volleyball too right
Yeah.
next to me. So yeah.
Wow. Well, that's all the questions we have for you, Abhishek Reddy sir. Thank you so much for coming on the show and making it this fun and informative. And we really liked hearing about your volleyball passion for the fans, and all these great plans you have for your team and volleyball as a sport in general and ahead. Is there any last closing statement you'd like to make for our viewers?
No, I think I've definitely said enough, especially about our fans and about our plans and all of that. But I think what we're doing at Hyderabad is reflective of pretty much every other team out there, right? So we're all just pushing the envelope of what can be done with volleyball, and I
Yeah.
think keep cheering us. And anybody, any one of your fans would like our jerseys, just let us know. We'll be happy to sell them. And by the way, I want you to be wearing one when we
Yes,
when we.
yes, definitely. The next time we speak, I'll wear one.
Wonderful, wonderful. And hope to see you in one of the games, by the way. Would you be in Kochi?
I wouldn't, but I would actually love to be there. I will definitely try to plan.
I'll tell you one thing that's interesting, actually. Cricket is one of those games that most people say the stadium experience is very different from
Hmm.
on screen experience, because cricket on TV is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Cricket in stadium, it's too far, you can't see, you miss out on a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Volleyball in stadium is amazing. If
Yeah.
you love what you see in
Hmm.
TV,
Hmm.
I would say it's 100x more in the
Really?
stadium. because
True.
you have your people around you,
Mhm,
surrounded, fans
mhm,
waving, and the action happens so close,
mhm.
that it's
Yeah.
not like cricket. You have to, if if there is a reason to see volleyball on TV, make it a point to get to the stadium. Trust me, the
Okay.
experience is very different. The doors, the see another thing is it's an indoor stadium, which
Yeah,
means
that
everything
I
is
was
reversed.
just about to mention that. I think that is what
The
makes
indoor
the difference in the viewing experience in the stadium.
if
Yeah.
you're if people watching out there, if they're debating between TV and just getting into a stadium, make your way into the stadium, guys. Seriously, I think it's an experience that you'll not forget. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I would definitely love to be a part of this. And good luck to Hyderabad Blackhawks for the remaining journey of the Prime Volleyball League Season 2. And we hope to see more and more entrepreneurs excitedly participating in sports and leading the front like Mr. Abhishek Reddy, sir. And yeah, so that is it from us right now, and I would like to thank you once again for joining us here today, and I would also like to thank all the viewers for staying tuned, and hope everybody liked this Wally Talk episode. Thank you so much for watching. This will be available live on YouTube, and the link will also be up on Instagram. And here's wishing you a great double match day starting in Hyderabad tonight at 7 p.m. From all of us at Basic Sports, stay safe and see you soon.